we the only ones that have been in a throuple? Okay, so boom. There I was. The middle of the ocean, letting two men basically have their way with me.
Put a finger down.
Welcome to another episode of Cousin Confidential, where I will be sharing all of my business, no filters. Ignore the glasses, but y'all know that 9-month cruise that everybody and their mom is on right now? Story time on how my husband and I, we've known each other since college, by the way, went on a cruise and decided to end things and start a new relationship with someone else. Now this sounds crazy, but stop scrolling, you didn't found one. It was Christmas time, so I would like to say this was a Christmas gift to myself. Well, wait until you find out that I was already married and I met the third guy one night while my husband was sleeping. I know. Now, I hope this is a safe space, but we're about to go walk the dogs. We're gonna take y'all with us. But while we do this, I guess we can tell you the story of how we ended up in a throuple in the middle of the ocean.
And before you all start making shit up,
This is somebody that we met together. I just happened to meet him first.
I saw him first. I saw him coming out of the car.
We'll get to that part. We'll get to that. So before we get too far, nobody got cheated on.
Nobody got cheated on.
We're more than likely to do the cheating together, if you catch my drift. Okay, so before we really dive in, I have to tell you guys that Yvonne and I, we're not really like most couples.
No,
Where do we meet?
we met in college, so we have been together for
9 years. We've been together for 9 years. We've been married 4. I know after 4 years of marriage, who decides to bring a third member in? Us. We do. That's the answer. We do.
What was the best part of being in a throuple?
I have to say, it's really cool sitting down in the middle of your two best friends. One of my favorite TV shows, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There's Buffy, there's Willow, there's Xander. But in the big 3 in all of those shows, there's 3 different distinct personalities. There's 3 different inside jokes. There's 3 different senses of humor.
Always having someone to reach to and being able to hold hands.
This is a cliche answer, but when you're dating someone, you're never gonna get the same person twice. So Chris is a blend of the two of us.
We always have different opinions.
We're 3 different genres of people.
We always wanted to watch different things, and I love getting to know my partners, so it was really interesting.
And having one person to my left, one person to my right.
It was like having your best friend crew with you 24/7, and I don't know, it just felt really good. I felt like a wolf pack. I don't know how to explain it.
In life, there's not too many people that get you and understand you. It's nice. It's nice to feel seen.
Go bowling.
Us racing each other in go-karts, we're competitive. We're also great teammates. Now, a lot of people asked us when we first posted this, were you guys looking for a throuple? How do I get in a throuple? You got 2 men. Don't be greedy. The answer to that question is we weren't looking for it. Were you looking for a throuple?
No,
I wasn't looking for a throuple. I was looking for my next drink. We got the drink package, nice view to take selfies on. I was not looking for a third man, but we were looking at the men.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold you.
We love people watching.
So when we stumbled upon this third person, it was instant chemistry. What would you say?
We clicked.
I'm sorry, what is your name as a group?
The Click.
It was instant chemistry?
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing enough, Yvonne saw him first. I didn't even see him. So we have this thing, when I tell you we're not like most couples, you know how most people get jealous when they see their partner checking out someone? It turns me on, and it turns him on. So Yvonne locked eyes with this short, little Blasian guy. And when I say little, he's 5'7". I'm 6'1". Yvonne is 5'11". So my 2 little guys. And Yvonne, what happened?
I saw him coming out of the club, and I was like, dang, he fine. And I was like, John, did you see him? Did you see him? I was like, John, look.
So we had the drink package, and I was feeling it a little bit. So I don't even know who he was talking about. It was that Mr. Krabs
was
name,
like, who?
where it was a blur.
Who?
Sure. So Yvonne had just seen the love of his life. He's mesmerized, and we go in the club. And yes, that night we did. But we'll get to that. What would y'all do on a ship with 3 men and no Wi-Fi? I mean,
We did have Wi-Fi.
we had Wi-Fi. We had Wi-Fi, but what would y'all do on the ship? Okay, so what was your first impression of Chris?
I love talking to him. Like, the conversation with him was really easy.
That's a loaded question because I met Chris while you were asleep. So
I was not asleep. I was passed out in Margaritas.
So I was trying not to throw him under the bus. Yvonne and I had went to dinner.
Sweet.
We went to dinner before.
It was Christmas dinner. It was Christmas dinner.
This was Christmas Day when all this is going down. So this is a Christmas gift to all of us, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So Yvonne had so many drinks at dinner. It was so many to where I was like, are you sure you're going to be good? We're supposed to go out after this. We had our clothes already laid on the bed, and he didn't make it.
I literally went to sleep on a Saturday night.
At 10 p.m. and I'm looking around the room like I only had 2 drinks at dinner and I'm still full from dinner. And I came on a cruise ship for Christmas, so I want to get out of this room. So it's 10 p.m. I leave the room, and this is still going to answer the question. I leave my room and I go down to the club that's open that night. And tell me why when I go to the club, I see the Blasian dude who we had seen the night before. Apparently.
But you didn't know that you
But I didn't know that I had
had
seen him. I didn't know who that was. So I knew I had seen him from somewhere, and I knew he was fine, but Yvonne wasn't with me, so I had to. So I say, okay, let me go find some more black people. Let me go find some cousins. Let me find my people. So the first person I ended up talking to, tell me why it was the guy's cousin. And he was like, come on over. You seem like a cool dude. You should come on over to my group of people. And the group of people was that short Blasian dude. So guess who I ended up talking to that night? Mm-hmm. Or my husband's upstairs fighting for his life in the middle of the bed. So my first impression of Chris was, this is a really cool person. Where the fuck have you been my whole life? Damn, he's fine. Then my next thing was, he's really interesting. I think you're shy because everybody in this group is talking but you. So he's talking to everybody but me in the group when I came over there. And I was the first person to talk to him. So we started talking and we ended up going to the deck and we talked for, I want to say a couple hours. I didn't realize how much time had passed. We talked to the club closed. And from there we had like a lot of deep conversations. I found he was a musician. He played some of his first music. But at the time for me, I was kind of in a dark place. And remember, keep this in the back of your brain. Yvonne was asleep upstairs. Remember, after we're like hitting it off, homie over here is telling me about his life story, I'm telling him about my life story. Y'all know after you had a couple drinks. People came by and they're like, yo, we're closing this deck to clean. So I'm thinking, okay, where else can we go? So I have an idea. Why don't we all go to my room? We can order pizza and hang out. I know that's where you're thinking. Before I knew it, this is the part where I thought I was gonna get in trouble with my husband.
Meanwhile, I was like,
so while he's asleep, I'm falling in love with this guy. My first impression is the very first night we met, I fell in love with him. And the old John is like, George, don't say that. Don't you say that online. Don't you tell nobody you fell in love with. But I fell in love with this person based on who he was, how he acted. So we were actually holding hands for like 2 hours while he was talking to me under the moonlight in the middle of the ocean, talking about like our childhood. The second I stepped inside, I felt my phone ringing. I guess my phone didn't have service. I pick it up because who's calling me on a cruise ship? He woke up, he was looking for me. How did you feel when you were looking for me and you didn't know where I was?
I didn't know where you were. I didn't know if you fell out of the cruise ship, if you were in deep waters with sirens or mermaids. Where were you at? So I didn't know. So I called you a couple times, you didn't answer. Called you more times, you didn't answer. Then I called you again, and you finally called Wi-Fi, and I was like, where the fuck are you, motherfucker?
So when I got to the room, Chris turned to me and said, do you want to go in first to make sure that's good? Because he heard Yvonne yelling on the phone. And I said, that's probably a good idea. Fill in the blanks, what was going on in there. And I quickly said, hey, there's 2 dudes outside. They can probably hear everything that's going on. But I brought them up so we can hang out with them.
I said, okay.
Okay, so
let me get together.
If I'm being honest right now, I forgot that 2 of them were cousins and we were all gonna get to know each other. That's how it was gonna play out in my eyes.
Yeah, we were just gonna hang out and order some food. That's it. That's what we were gonna do.
Okay, and then from there, Yvonne and I, we already told you this part earlier, but we ended up sleeping together the first night. And when I tell you I got the best night's sleep ever.
Best night to sleep. Oh my God.
Now, I didn't mean to answer it, but our second question is gonna be, what moment did you realize you were falling for him? That was a moment for me. I realized I was falling for him. And what moment did you realize you could probably love this person?
Well, after we got the deed done, the first night, I realized that I didn't want to leave the bed and that I was really comfortable with the 2 of you.
Okay, and how did you feel about the situation initially? So you said after we...
So when I woke up, it was 5 a.m. I didn't know where you were.
So what had happened was...
Walking around
So imagine his surprise when he woke up at 5 a.m. and I told y'all where I was. I was holding hands with that 5'7" Blasian. So we get inside the room. And now that we're on the other side of this, Chris told us that he was signaling for his cousin to leave the entire time. Like, get the fuck out, get the fuck out. But you can cut the tension with a knife.
Yeah, you can see the 3 of us looking at each other like,
okay, let's get it cracking. So we Y'all know what happened. Y'all know what happened.
And that's when I fell in love.
All I'm gonna say is we ordered champagne and we went to the balcony, and before I knew it,
The sun was up.
the sun was coming up.
And it was really hot. So they're like,
And without getting too cheesy, I don't really like talking about my emotions too much. I told you I'm avoidant, but I am working on it. But that was probably one of the best nights of my life. But before we knew it, Yvonne and I had a massage the next morning, so it was cut really short. But before I knew it, we were in pretty deep, because after hanging out and after seeing each other right after the massage, every time we saw each other, we were like, okay, when's the next time I'm gonna see this person? But with this person, I was kind of embarrassed to first turn to Yvonne. I think I was the first one to say it. And I was like, I don't know, I'm starting to get feelings for this person. He turned to me and said, I'm thinking the exact same thing. So
thank God that you are feeling the same, because I felt so weird.
But we were able to get on the same page. So like I said, before we knew it, we ended up porting back in Miami. Chris didn't end up going back home. He came to the hotel with us, and we ended up spending another night together. And then when we had to say goodbye, we were going back to Texas, and he was going back to work in Florida.
That's so sad.
I didn't cry, he didn't cry, but it looked like Chris wanted to cry too. From that little time spent together, we realized we wanted to be together. So from there on, we kept meeting up in each other's cities every weekend.
Talking on FaceTime.
FaceTime every day. I'm talking.
Going to sleep on FaceTime.
After we go to sleep on FaceTime, we wake up on FaceTime and go to work with each other. We were kissing through the phone on FaceTime. We gave each other New Year's kiss. When I tell you, we was in there deep. But even though I didn't feel like it for us, we dated for 6 months after that. We ate every meal together. We slept together. We even moved in together. And y'all know the gays, they move pretty quick. For some people, 6 months is long enough to get married. For some, 6 months is long enough to finally sleep together. We did that on the first night. But this is the part where Chris ghosted us. So we're gonna hit a hard pause here, because I do want to clear something up. One of my biggest pet peeves is when most people get into relationships and then they turn on the person. So they'll say things like, their dick was little. They didn't even fuck me good. Yeah, his breath stank the whole time. Or his credit score was low. Out of all of those things, none of those was true. This is getting a little long, so I'm gonna cut the video here. We'll see you guys back in part 2, where we'll share how we got ghosted as a couple and where we are today. Thanks for watching another episode of Cousin Confidential. I'm John.
I'm Ivan.
And this week we released a double episode, so make sure you tune in to episode 2. We'll see you guys there, and then again next week.